Anyway, welcome. To those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is Callback Ministry. We tend to meet about 2 weeks once every fortnight. We tend to share about things regarding with faith. Today, I'm James, a family medicine specialist working in currently Kepala Batas, but will soon be transferred to Sungai Bakap. I'm in charge of one of the coordinators in the vaccination program in Kepala Batas, and yeah, it's generally Monday to Sunday kind of work. But today I'll be sharing more about trying to love during COVID. COVID has hit us in many ways, direct and indirectly. It has affected our lifestyle, okay? But I will be sharing my experiences as a frontliner for the past year or so. Things that I found that I myself could do better, okay? And other people could do better. It's very personal opinions, so some of it might be quite sensitive, and please do not take it to heart. I share all things out of love, okay? Out of love, okay? I struggle a lot during the COVID pandemic in trying to love. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen soon. Can everyone see this? Okay. Okay, trying to love during COVID. The main verse that I'll be using would be, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22 verse 39. And the second is like it. All the time when I always glance through this verse. The full thing is that is written in the Bible is that you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. And in verse 39 it goes, the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. All the while, I always glance through and verse 39 is, and the second is like this. And the second is like this. I never ever focused on the it before. And the second is like it. Meaning this second commandment is similar as the first commandment. It's just as important as loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength, sorry. So the second is like it. It's not the second is like this, but it's the second is like it. It is just as important as the first commandment. Love your neighbor as yourself. So how do you love your neighbor? What are the struggles that I faced during this COVID pandemic? First of all, my memory before COVID was this. All I can remember was WOW, Women of Worship, an event which we held in the Cathedral of the Holy Spirit. On the right, on the furthest right is actually the first youth meeting at church parish level. Okay. The other two on the left, the middle one and the one with me and my wife was Women of Wonder. Okay, so that's the memories I had. I think the last memories I had in church before COVID. After that, from very packed churches, from very packed clinics, I end up like my life ended up like this, where I had to plan how to space out patients in the clinic, ensuring there's social distancing. The term social distancing did not exist pre-COVID. The term of testing, swabbing did not exist pre-COVID. I was one of the first few people that had to do COVID testing in Penang. It was very scary at first. There was a lot of fear. At that point of time, we had very limited knowledge about COVID. We didn't know how it spread, what precautions to take. In the end, we ended up treating it like Ebola virus, wearing full hazmat suits and before even taking a swab. It was up to the point of time where I had to actually bathe. When I went home, I had to enter without touching the curtains, without touching the doors, and straight away throwing my clothes into some chlorinated water, and then after that head to the bathroom straight away before I could even meet my parents or my then fiance. So it was quite stressful. This is me, just like a kung fu master, and after swabbing for like 6 hours straight without any water, you end up like the other picture where you're fully drenched and needing a bath. After that, it affected my studies. Instead of meeting face to face for my specialist program, I had to meet my classmates online. I was stuck in Penang. I had to do my exam online as well. I managed to pass that online Viva. It was all a very unique experience, which I think some of you are going through at the moment as well. During COVID as well, for the past year, I actually lost two good friends, two people that who guided me both spiritually as well as professionally. They gave me a lot of tips at a professional level as well. On the left would be Father John Chia, whom I met when I was in Sarawak, who passed away during the early months of COVID. But he did not die directly from COVID. He did not die directly from COVID. He died from a disease called amyloidosis, which is an infection, kind of infection. And the one on the right is Andre Ong, which some of you might know, who died due to COVID complications. So yeah, it hasn't been quite an easy year. Even my marriage got postponed. I only so far managed to register legally, not in church yet. Even this photo also, during the whole ceremony, had to practice social distancing, cannot be too close to each other. We tried to sneakily take off the mask, but then there was a guard there whistling us away, making sure that we followed SOPs. So it's not the dream wedding that my wife deserved, but yeah, what to do? It's COVID. It's COVID. I hate COVID. And trying to love during COVID is not very fun. Okay, it takes a lot of help from God. Okay, a lot of help from God. So how to love during COVID? These are the things that I have drawn out. Be law-abiding, be creative, be alert and vigilant, get vaccinated, and most importantly, stay close to God. Law-abiding, okay. Law-abiding. We have to follow the SOPs, like what Amelia, Jael, Esther mentioned, and Tino mentioned earlier on during the chat before we opened up our session. What they found out, what they learned to do during this COVID pandemic was to follow the SOPs in place. Okay, always be updated. Okay, always check the latest SOPs from reliable sources. Okay, and always check the facts. Okay, most of the time, the ones that are very accurate are the ones from Majlis Keselamatan Negara and Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. I know some of you don't like the government, okay, have your reservations against different governments, okay, different policies, okay, but this is our country, okay, and most of, especially the MOH is quite an independent body, okay. Most of the time, the policies are made based on science, facts, all right, and recommendations from WHO. It's not easy to follow the SOPs. Like what I said, I myself, myself and my wife, we tried to flaunt the SOPs during our wedding, our ceremony. We tried to take off our mask, okay, just to sneak in a photo. Come on, wedding once in a lifetime, once in a lifetime, still cannot take off the mask, okay. So unfortunately, yeah, it's a pandemic, okay. It's for everyone's safety that we have to follow SOPs, all right. We amongst the core team also have discussed extensively, okay, extensively about how to properly follow SOPs during this kind of pandemic. We are so used to being callback, because we focus quite a lot on praise and worship, jumping around, meeting together. Physically meeting was very, very important for us, and for the members of Callback as well. Unfortunately, we had to find, we could not do that due to SOPs at different phases during the past year. So we had, I mean, actually quite heated arguments during our core team meetings, and I had to be quite strict in what I believed in. I don't know whether it bear fruit, but so far within this ministry, nobody has gotten any positive gotten COVID or had complications from COVID. Okay, there were near misses, okay, but because we followed the SOPs, we were all protected, okay. Some of us might have been exposed to COVID positive cases in our workplace, but because we were alert and followed the SOPs, and with God's protection as well, we did not get COVID, okay. So yeah, abiding by the law, that's SOPs, all right. Another part is fake news, okay. Another part of it is fake news. Spreading fake news is illegal, and it spreads fear, unnecessary fear, to other people, okay. Always check your news before you forward stuff on WhatsApp or anywhere else, right? Fake information as well. The one that we currently combat as doctors would be false information on medications. They claim that certain medications, certain supplements work against COVID, certain masks are better than others. Yeah, but always check, okay? Always check. And they are fake information against vaccines. There's no harm asking people for their opinions, okay? But always check the facts. Always check the facts with a professional, all right? A certified professional. Another one that I discovered that can really sting people is not telling the truth about contact history when you're found to be positive. This is in general, okay? Because part of my job, one of the phases that I had to go through was to to trace contacts, all right, to help our health inspectors trace contacts. So we had to make calls, okay, to certain people when we suspect they are in contact with positive cases, okay. We also interview those who are COVID positive about their whereabouts. Some of them out of fear, okay, out of fear, but fear of what? There are many reasons for it, okay? They do not tell the truth. That affects our tracing, okay? That affects our decision on who to test next, all right? Because Malaysia, we cannot test everyone. We have to be focused in our testing because of limited resources. So them not telling the truth, okay? Or you could blame it on our skill of not being good at investigating, not being a good cop or bad cop. Basically, it's just hiding the facts, okay? Not being able to discover those facts affects our contact tracing and thus affects our containment of the virus spread, all right? Another thing is trying to jump queue. This is more related to my current case where every day there are people, lay people, politicians, friends of politicians or friends of people in power trying to jump queue to be vaccinated earlier. All right. All this is also done out of fear. Okay. When you fear something, your judgment will not be right. And all this, okay, you should replace all this fear with love, okay? All this fear with love. Once you lie, okay, or let's say when you try to jump queue, okay, there'll always be consequences, direct or indirect, okay? For example, there's this story in 1 Samuel 21 where David lied to one of the priests. He was running away from the king of that time, Saul. Okay, and Saul wanted to chase him, or was hunting him down, and David was sort of like cornered already. He and his men did not have any bread to eat, did not have any weapons. So David decided to go to the nearby temple, and then after that, sort of like trick the priest, okay, saying that he was on a secret mission, and convinced the priest. The priest believed him that he was on a secret mission, so gave him some bread, okay, some holy bread as well as weapons. David eventually escaped, well-fed with his men, okay, but he did not receive the direct consequence of his lie. Who received it was the priest and his family. All right, the priest and his family. Saul found out, okay, and he had the priest as well his family executed, except for one. That one person that escaped managed to find David eventually and then tell him about this story. So this is when the king found out, okay, he ordered one of his men to strike and kill the priest and his family. Subsequently, Abiathar, the guy that escaped, okay, David said to Abiathar, that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, I knew he would be sure to tell Saul, I am responsible for the death of your whole family. Stay with me, don't be afraid. The man who wants to kill you is trying to kill me too. You will be safe with me. Subsequently, David was sorry. And he kind of repented. David being David, after he does something wrong, he's quick to repent, and he reflected it in Psalm 34, whereby he mentions that, come, my children, listen to me. I'll teach you the fear of the Lord. Whoever of you loves life and desires to see many good days, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Turn from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. So therefore, don't lie, okay? Don't lie during COVID, okay? Your lies can cause indirect and direct consequences, all right? I'll tell more about jumping queue for vaccines, all right, later on. Okay. The next part, okay, apart from be law abiding and being honest, is be creative, okay? A lot of people always say that SOPs, you must, how they say, avoid close contact, avoid confined spaces, always wear your mask and caution each other. But one of the most important things is limit physical meetings, okay? The virus does not travel on its own. It requires humans to travel, okay? So one way is limiting physical meetings as much as possible. In ministry is very hard to, because we are so used to physical meetings, it's very hard to for this transition. But we try to be creative. So we have Zoom, as you saw earlier, Gabriel, Joanne, and Aaron, they managed to create a very nice music video to keep us in the mood of praise and worship all the time. And then we can have Zoom games for interaction as well. So it's limited, okay, but it's a creative way, okay? So yeah, be creative during COVID in order to maintain, to find ways to tell and maintain about, to tell people about God's love, okay? To find ways to tell people about God's love more, all right? Yeah, so nothing is impossible for God. He can decide to work in various ways, not limited to physical meetings alone, okay? In the example of Luke 7, 1 to 10, he didn't have to, some people, he heals them physically. He comes to touch them. He comes to touch their eyes, make some mud and smashes it on the eyes and sticks his finger into their ear. Some people need that. Okay, but other times he reaches out by just commanding from afar. So Jesus himself used many different ways to reach out to people, and he was creative, and he tailored each approach to everyone, to love them individually and uniquely. So be creative when you reach out to other people and to show love during this COVID pandemic. Be alert and vigilant. Always warn and look out for each other. All right. The next point about be alert and vigilant is more important, whereby we have to look out for our neighbors. Okay, we have to look out for our neighbors. I always, this guy is actually a comedian and filmmaker. Okay, but what he says is very true. The only time you should look into your neighbor's bowl is to make sure they have enough. Okay, it's not to see how much they have compared to yours, how much more they have compared to yours, but it's to see whether they have enough, all right, and to help them out if necessary. Look out for your neighbor. Check on their welfare, all right? Your family members, friends at work, your previous church or social circle, make sure they're all right. Mental health is an issue, okay? Many of us are stuck at home, like myself. During the COVID pandemic, if not working, most of the time I watch Korean dramas, and one of it is, I haven't watched this yet actually. It's okay to not be okay, all right? Mental health. If you are struggling with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, do reach out to any of the members in Callback or church, okay? Or your nearest clinic, okay? There's always help available. Always look out for your members. They might seem fine on the outside, but they are actually hurting and going through a lot. Okay, some people have lost their jobs. Some people from a already shit situation previously, already crap situation, sorry for my language, or an already bad situation before COVID, it became even worse during COVID. Some people face discrimination during work, and it became a lot worse during the COVID pandemic. Okay, so yeah, those are the people that we must look out for. Or if you yourself are facing issues, do let us know. Never ever be afraid to wave the white flag. All right. The white flag initiative is also something that we should be aware of. It's just to highlight Christian charity, where we should be always looking out for our neighbor and help when needed. Okay, there are many ways to help. Previously, Callback has also carried out drives to help certain people to get laptops. There's also previously church initiatives as well as NGO initiatives to get help for all these people. So just be alert and vigilant of these initiatives within your community. So another way of showing love is get vaccinated. I added, for those of you who attended my vaccination talk last week, today I'm adding another thing. It's God's timing is perfect. Many of you will start receiving your vaccination appointments already. I've heard of people born in 1992, the year 2000, they're all receiving their vaccination appointments already, because our list is about, we've got a lot of centers in Seberang Utara itself. There's already about 4,000. We are able to vaccine about 4,500 per day. So, and Spice Center, the 5,000 for AstraZeneca, they'll be opening up to going to be changed to a public TPV where they'll be able to vaccinate about extra 5,000 per day as well. So a lot of you will be receiving your vaccination appointments soon. Why do I say God's timing is perfect? COVID vaccines are very new. They are the new kids on the block. They've only been there in this world since November 2020. And in Malaysia, we started vaccinating ourselves since end of February, March 2021. Data is always changing. What's good, what's bad, what kind of side effects are there. There are always new things, new data available. But you know what? Only God knows what is suitable, all right? So when he arranges the appointment for your vaccination timing, he is in control, all right? The best vaccine that you can get is the first vaccine that you can get, the vaccine which you have the first opportunity to get into yourself, okay? Be it AstraZeneca, be it Sinovac, be it Pfizer, be it the CanSino Bio or the Sputnik one that is coming up soon, or the Johnson & Johnson one. God knows our bodies inside out, okay? Inside out, outside in. He controls time as well, okay? He controls your vaccination appointments, okay? If that day you get Sinovac, then Sinovac it is. Okay, if that day you get AstraZeneca, AstraZeneca it is, okay? Go for your appointment, trust in God, and get vaccinated. Of course, you go and tell the doctor the truth, okay, about your full medical condition, okay, or if you have any at all. Okay, then after that, if the doctor decides, then, okay, yeah, God is working in that way as well, all right? Some of you might keep demanding certain brands, okay, Like Chinese typically want Sinovac all the time. Certain people going overseas, they want Pfizer. Yeah, but everything also has their own new data coming out. Like for Pfizer, it's found out that there's a small risk, okay, very, very small risk of getting what they call heart inflammation, okay, what we call carditis, okay, especially in men who are quite young. So there's always a new information coming in. So God's timing, trust in God's timing, okay? Be honest, possible, don't jump queue, okay? Yeah, that don't be fearful. Most of the time, people that want to jump queue, you do it out of fear. And yeah, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but one of love, power, and self-control, okay? COVID vaccination is safe, effective, and COVID vaccination is love in action. Okay, for more of this, refer back to the previous talk. I think it's been given out by Patrick, but if you want another rerun, your house captains can approach me and I'll give another one for the house. All right. The Catholic's position, okay, vaccination is a moral good. It's not, it not only protects one's health, but also it reflects one's duty to pursue the common good. Okay, common good here would be herd immunity. When you vaccinate, you protect yourself, you protect your body, okay, and your health, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit. All right. That's also love, okay, loving yourself, as well as protecting others, okay? Lindung semua, okay? Love your neighbor as yourself. So get vaccinated when it's your turn. It's an act of self-love, an act of love for our neighbors, all right? Another thing important to do, after you try to love for myself, all this struggle, it's not work. Currently, I work in the vaccine center. It's not easy at all. Every day you have to balance between people coming to plead, asking you to be vaccinated, but you have to remember to be fair to others. If you vaccinate someone now, okay, another someone will have less vaccine. So let's say if you queue jump now and you take somebody else's vaccine, the other someone does not get that vaccine, okay, because it was not meant to be yours in the first place. To have that resolve, you need to always refresh yourself, restore your energy levels, restore your love tank, okay? And the best way that I know how for Catholics and Christians is by staying close to God, okay? By making sure our roots are firmly planted in God, all right? Yeah, it takes a lot of resolve. It takes a lot of resolve. It's not easy at all, okay? So yeah, that would be me. I will end this now. That's my take on trying to love during this COVID pandemic. Always remember the law, okay? Keep to the law, keep to the SOPs, be creative, all right? Be alert and vigilant, get vaccinated, okay? And stay close to God. All right.